say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now. Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Outdoor Country Kitchen. Hello, Mrs. Farmer.
Hi, how are you?
You look ravishing as usual.
Oh, wow, that's sweet.
You know what? We have a fire going. And normally during our cowboy cooking segments, we would have a cowboy hat on and jeans and boots. But today we've got on cowboy flip-flops.
It's finally nice out.
And don't question our cowboy hoodedness.
That's right.
We have 3 cows. And I still have my trusty steed Moses, which I ride off into the sunset right to his bowl of Alpo every evening. So how dare question our cowboy?
That's right.
Surely
I like your
would.
cowboy hat.
Thank you very much. But you know what? We got a lot going on around the farm. It's finally warmed up.
Right.
Looks like it's going to stay warm for a while.
I hope you're right.
Now, as we move along, we've got some new stuff today. We're going to visit a farm where we're going to get some of our vegetables here. Isn't it nice to know that in today's day and age, you can go to stores like our favorite store or places where they raise their own vegetables, and we know where they are, and we know if we choose to do so, we can find those without any kind of spray or anything on them. And we choose to do that as much as we can. We can't be 1,000% organic, but you know, as best we can. Speaking of something a little bit different, today we're going to do, for a side, one of my favorite things in the world. I haven't had it for years. I used to have a friend that used to make me this all the time. Fried cabbage.
I've never had that. I'm looking forward to it.
You've never had fried cabbage? That's an
and I love it.
Old-fashioned Kentucky thing. It involves bacon grease.
I like that.
And cabbage, and we'll talk about all that later. But first of all, since the dawn of mankind, since man started settling in one spot, they started domesticating rabbits. And up until the last 50, 100 years, that was a regular source of protein. Now, when people started making cartoons and regular feature-length films with animals speaking became popular, you know, rabbit was a regular part of people's meals, whether you hunted it or it was domesticated. Right. It is delicious.
Yes,
it's healthy. It's not that fatty at all. It's very good for you. What a good source of protein. Now, what is this? We got from Mac, and we'll go visit him later. But that's garlic.
It looks like an onion, but it's garlic.
I guess you could call that a garlic starter before it pods out. It looks like an onion.
Wow, it smells amazing. It smells like garlic.
It is. It's because, as he said, it is
garlic.
Now, tonight we're going to use a cast iron Dutch oven for our rabbit recipe. Now, we're going to start out with our cast iron and a skillet up on top. What I'm going to need is probably 2 of these onions. And instead of cutting them in little pieces, let's cut them in rings. Thin rings. We've got some fresh mushrooms. And we decided to go with shiitake on this. We're going to tie together a little bit of parsley, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of oregano, and we're going to make a wonderful rabbit dish, quick and easy. Not that quick, an hour maybe, total time. Now, again, rabbit is delicious. If you don't have any rabbit and you want to do this with chicken, you can do this just as well. But right up the road, our buddy at Ghost Mountain Rabbitry furnished us with some rabbit. We went up there and bought it, and we traded around. I'm telling you what, there's nothing like fresh rabbit. It's absolutely delicious. If you've never had it. Tell you what I'd like, Nikki, if you will, if you'll cut me up some celery. All right. I'm gonna get me a skillet going here in a minute with some butter in it. 1/3 to 1/2 stick of butter. So you get a bunch of onions and some celery. And let's take a little bit of that garlic, cut up in here too. All right. A little bit of our garlic. At this point, Nikki, if you'll get my 12-inch Dutch oven over here, I'm gonna lay some coals down, start getting it hot. We're going 400 degrees today, which is 10 on the bottom, 19 on the top. All right, so now to go ahead and heat things up a bit, we're gonna go ahead and take most of a beer. Now this is New Belgium Amber Ale. So we're gonna go ahead and get our liquid hot, and I don't know, a little over a cup chicken broth. And if you don't do alcohol, don't worry, the alcohol will cook out of that. Promise you won't stumble down the stairs after you've had your rabbit. Let's go back to our onions, check them out, they're getting close. at the last minute, we're going to toss those mushrooms in there and let them get a little bit cooked. Now, Nikki, if you will, I'm going to lift the top. If you'll dump that into here, we'll let them start cooking. Right now, right here, we're just going to take a little bit of thyme, mostly thyme, a little bit of oregano, a little bit of parsley. Okay, drop our bouquet garni. Boom. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of salt. Well, let's actually put a lot of salt and a lot of pepper. That's good. Well, a little bit more than salt. And some pepper. A little salt and a little pepper. Let's just dredge those parts. Look what a good looking piece of meat. You can't tell me that's not delicious. All right, same pan. Let's not dirty anything up we don't have to. All right, lightly dredge these in flour. Drop it in. All right, now we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of stone ground mustard and a pinch of brown sugar. Well, the wonderful thing about this is when this is done, you're going to take your juices because you are the queen of gravy.
That's right.
And you like your potatoes. So we're going to make a gravy out of this remaining juice.
Oh, yeah.
In the end. Now, something I like to use to give it a little celery flavor, it's called nature seasoning. I'm going to put just a hair of that in. And to add to that good, rich, salty, stocky flavor, I'm going to drop a chicken bouillon cube in there as well. Come back and check my rabbit, see where it's at.
Yum.
Now we're going to get this nice and brown and started. And it's going to finish the rest of the way in our 12-inch Lodge Dutch oven. Look at there, we're cooking. I'm going to take my rabbit out and lay in here. And I'm going to check this in about 45 minutes, but I'm anticipating about an hour's worth of cooking. And because it's sat there and cooked a while, I'm going to reinforce some of my charcoal. While this cooks for about an hour, let's go visit with our friends from Elmwood Stock Farm. Mike is back. Look out, old Mikey's back.
You're here.
Elmwood Stock Farm. Good to be here. I see green everywhere. Now, what kind of job can you possibly have where you can reach down anywhere you are? Pea shoot.
Pea shoot. Tastes like peas, you know why? It is a pea.
That's delicious.
Absolutely. On a salad, there's nothing like it. So we can plant these, germinate them here in the greenhouse, and be ready to eat in like 7 or 8 days.
Wow. Now you have, I'll explain to people who don't know, what is the CSA?
CSA is Community Supported Agriculture. Customers pay us now in the beginning of the year. Then we have a contract with them to deliver whatever's seasonally available all summer. So they don't know what they're going to get. We don't know what they're going to get till the day before. But so we take all of this stuff and we'll deliver. We have drop-offs in Lexington, Frankfort, Cincinnati.
I wanted to see how this whole thing starts. Here we are in the greenhouse with kale and lettuce and what is this, parsley and
celery.
Celery.
Swiss chard.
This is where it all starts.
Lots of kale because we kale every week.
Kale's the magic food, isn't it?
It is.
You're in an interesting line of work, but anything that's interesting or fun usually involves a whole lot of labor. As we look at, I see cows coming in, I saw sheep, we saw turkeys. You know, it's not just about plants, you raise meat as well.
Right. Absolutely.
And everything's organic.
Everything's certified organic. It hasn't been a single Saturday at the farmer's market that a customer hasn't come to our booth and said, my doctor told me to eat the food that you grow, whether it's grass-fed beef or organic vegetables, because of whether it's toxins or whether it's antibiotics or the wrong kind of fat in meat. So we say, sure, it's hard to eat 100% organic 100% of the time, but if you do as best you can, then you can relax a little bit when you are at a restaurant and you just don't worry about it for a little bit.
We were talking about onion sets. These are not your typical onion sets. What does that mean when you're planting onions?
So we can't get onion sets, those nice little bulbs that you just can plant very easily. So we have to get organic seed. So someone individually flicked the little seeds into those trays, for us to have onions, and they won't be ready when everybody else has spring onions. They'll still be in the greenhouse.
Wow.
But this fall, they'll be awesome.
Now, being in this line of work, I mean, we're surrounded by life. We're surrounded by tomatoes and everything. Everything's coming along wonderfully. I'm doing my own meat. I'm a carnivore, hardcore.
Right. Good for you.
And the cows have taken over my garden spot. So I'm going to do like some tomatoes and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm going to depend on you for my vegetables, and stores around that sell vegetables from folks like you, where we know where it came from.
Right.
So what's the chances of us getting a little tour today? Show us what's going on.
Let's go look.
I'm ready.
Go.
Let's go. Okay, so this is a seed room, a busy little room where it starts off over here with the dirt, then it slides towards you, then we see a tray.
Right.
Then what's in your hand there?
So this is a vacuum seeder. There's a little hole pattern that lines up with the holes in the cells of the tray. So you roll the seed around like a game, and when each one of these little holes has a seed vacuum stuck to the hole, the rest of the seeds fall down in this little tray. When you flip it over, break the vacuum, the seeds all drop down into the tray together, and then you can move it on to the next one.
And dead center, as opposed to being,
right.
Wow.
Right, so we can do, these normally the styrofoam are 248s, and we can do 248 seeds as fast as you can get them to line up on the tray.
Wow. Then off to the germination room, which has moisture and
hot, moist heat, so that they all germinate at the same time. Then when they go to the greenhouse, the hot and cold pockets of the greenhouse, we get better uniformity if they all germinate, then no matter where they go in the greenhouse. Because you like that uniformity when you're using a transplanter. If some are tall and some are short, some will get buried or some will be too tall and hang up in the equipment. So we like that uniformity when it's time to plant in the field.
Now, before we go to that back field back there, do these look familiar? These guys came from Moses and Maggie's.
With the dogs here, nothing gets in this whole field. They're going to patrol the whole field. I tell people they do a great job when they're awake.
When they're awake. And that's the old man over there.
Yeah.
Now, he's about 8, you say, 7 or 8?
Yeah. He kind of knows he's changing of the guard here a little bit.
Yeah. So he can chill a bit, relax.
Yeah.
I see kale, and what else is out here?
Lettuce, several kinds of kale, several kinds of lettuce. This is the early transplants that we got out. The weather's been kind to us this year. Big storm that brought this tree down. We got hail on the south part of the farm, but we didn't right here.
Wow.
So we just dodged a bullet right there. So we get these plants out. They've already gotten acclimated. The sun, the beautiful weather we're having today, they'll just jump in the next 2 weeks.
Now, let's talk about something I found fascinating. You talked about, I see your cattle over here, and I asked you, what do you do if it's organic about fertilization? And you said?
We're on an 8-year crop rotation. So the field behind us here that we're laying the plastic, that's where the long feeder is. It's been an alfalfa for 5 years. After 5 years, we plow it. The alfalfa is a legume that takes nitrogen from the air. It feeds the soil, feeds the plants. When we turn that under, it's called green manure. When we turn that under, then it feeds the microbes that then feed our plants. So the long feeders, the long season crops, tomato, pepper, cucumber, squash, those go in that field first year. Then come behind that with a cover crop. Then this is the second year field. This was tomatoes last year. So then these are lighter feeders. We're still on 38-inch rows, so there's plenty of soil for the roots to find the nutrients. Then behind these will come off in the summer. We can do it again in the fall. So we get 2 crops off of this field. Then after this, we do the overwinter garlic, then the peas, the beans, the other legumes, and other light feeders that'll fill the 3rd year of vegetables, then back to 5 years of alfalfa. So we don't have to bring fertility off farm to produce the crops.
Wow. Sounds like a fairly complicated thing, but it's so well, natural.
It's the culture that built this part of the world. It's what old timers did.
Right.
You would not
because they didn't have synthetic.
They didn't have synthetic fertilizer.
Wow.
So this is what they did. So it's the best of the old, and then we do have the new technologies like the plastic for weed control, moisture control, and fancy planters and all kinds of things. So it's a real combination between old and new. So
the bugs, what do you do about the bugs? They get some, you get some?
So no. When you have the healthy balance of soil, it's just like a healthy person. If they scratch themselves, they don't get sick or have a problem. They heal over. So a healthy plant is resistant to the bugs in the first place. By also having the diversity that we have, there's thousands of species of beneficial insects. By never spraying any pesticides, the beneficial insects still outnumber the pests.
Wow.
And that's a whole nother segment we could do, but there's wasps that are so tiny that you would call them a gnat, and they're even smaller than a gnat. But they lay their egg in the aphid. When the egg hatches, the larvae eats the guts of the aphid and hops out and goes to make new ones, kills the aphid.
So you're having your work done for you.
Absolutely, it's like National Geographic out there.
You know, we've talked about the cows, we talked about the sheep, we got to talk about the chickens, so with chickens comes eggs.
Right.
So I suppose that's all part of the process here too. If people wanted grass-fed beef or chickens
Absolutely.
or turkey, it's all natural.
Absolutely.
Right here.
Everything's certified organic. The feed is non-GMO, no pesticides in the feed for the chickens. They're out on pasture.
So I think people are finding out about these things and finding out little by little. They want to know where their food's coming from. I know where mine's coming from.
Right.
Part of it's right here.
Right.
And I want to thank you.
Thank you.
For the hard work that you do.
Appreciate it.
To make sure this stuff happens.
Appreciate it.
I can't wait to get my first bag.
There you go.
Thank you, Mike. Alex is back. What you got for us today?
This is called a Category 8. It's very simple, just a few ingredients.
I like simple.
It's very easy.
People have accused me of being simple.
Oh, now, Tim. All right, so what we're gonna do, fill it up with ice, of course. I like to use a copper mug for this. You don't have to. If you have a julep cup, that's fine. You can use a regular glass. This just gets it very good and frosty. So what I do is start out with some spiced rum of your choice. Put about 2 shots in there, so that'll equal about 3 ounces. All right, so we've got our spiced rum in there. I use a ginger-infused simple syrup that I make. Very easy, just sugar, water, some ginger root, and some ginger ale soda if you'd like. And I like to make this drink pretty sweet, so I do about 2 or 3 teaspoons. And I top it up with the ginger soda. And I always love to squeeze an orange in the summer.
Perfect
Give it a
patio
stir.
drink right there.
And there we have it.
Category 8.
Category 8.
Look at that. Now we're gonna leave that as it is. It's done. I had a friend on Facebook the other day who was talking about fried cabbage and just ding, 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 ding
Yum.
with rabbit. Are you
I've
kidding
never
me?
had it. I can't wait.
There's nothing to it. Old timey thing. We're getting our bacon going, okay? We got about 6 pieces of bacon, 6 or 7 pieces of bacon. And we're gonna fry this up till it's done and get some bacon grease. Now that's the same pan we fried rabbit in. It doesn't matter. A little bit of that flour in there.
Makes
We're
it
only
good,
thickening it up
yeah.
later. While the bacon's going, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do here. We're gonna take this head of cabbage. We're gonna take the first couple layers off. We're gonna cut it up into smaller pieces so we can fry it evenly. We're gonna take this onion, cut it up into small rings, kind of like what we did for the rabbit.
Okay.
We're gonna take the bacon aside once it's done in there, leave most of the grease in there, and we're gonna turn this cabbage over and over and over. Now we're gonna take a little shot apple cider vinegar, some brown sugar, and the brown sugar gives it a little sweet. Now we're gonna come back with some nature's seasoning, not that much, and drop a cube of chicken bouillon in there. When we cut all that up in there, we just keep mixing that over, turning it over until it gets, the leaves are very malleable.
Okay.
And then we got us something special. Okay, look at that. Cabbage is done. It smells delicious. Nikki's gonna take this, put it in another dish. We're gonna use the same skillet to make the gravy with. And we're about to get there. That's gonna be falling off the bone.
Yeah. All right, and you remember the simple way to make gravy. Usually I have cornstarch. This time we had flour, which works as good. Cornstarch is my favorite, but I do equal parts of flour and water, mix that up with a fork, and we're just gonna add that in and stir it up, and it's gonna go quick.
You're talking boom.
Boom, we got gravy.
Now look at that.
Yum.
If that ain't country, you can
Wow.
take it to the bank or something like that. That's what they say. Look at that. It's falling off the bone. Oh, Look at that skin right there.
That is good.
I love your gravy.
Oh, I like that. I love your. I gotta try this cabbage. I've never had this before. And
You've never had fried cabbage?
No, but I love cabbage.
You love that, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, I could eat that. This is one of my new favorite meals. Yum.
You want to start raising rabbits?
Maybe. No, let's just buy them. It's easier.
True.
Let's go to John.
I'm telling you, it's just delicious.
Rabbit's
Now we're
delicious.
starving. We had a lot to do on the farm today, but man, oh man, it was worth the wait. And you can tell it's falling off the bone here when you see that bone sticking out there and it's slid off. It's time to eat. Now, if you'd like other recipes, where would you find them, Ms. Farmer?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
Would you
I'm
really?
trying to eat here. Yeah, but that's where I go.
TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com. We have gabillions of recipes on there, how-tos. And if you're not our Facebook friend, what should you do?
Go to our Facebook page and I would hit like.
Instantly, boom,
Yes.
you're on. We can talk about recipes, we can have fun. Okay, a lot of people ask us on our Facebook page and emails, so on and so forth, when y'all gonna be somewhere? I'll tell you, we're gonna be in Stanford Thursday night, May the 11th. We're having dinner. We wanna have dinner with you at the Bluebird.
Yum.
It's gonna be at Soaps and such. So for more information, check out the screen below you. And what do you think, we should see the puppies real quick?
I'm ready to hold all of them.
All right, let's eat this and go see the puppies.
Okay.
All right, look what a pile of puppies.
Look how sweet.
We got some white ones, we got some black and white ones. You got best mom in the world right here.
Aren't
But you
they
know,
cute?
this breed, as big as they are, now these puppies have grown so much just in the last 2 or 3 days. They were tiny. And that's when you really lose puppies early because the mother is so large. And that's why it's important to have an area like this where she can kind of keep an eye on them. They're so large, sometimes she'll lay down and lay on top of one. She won't even feel it or know it's there. Now they're very vocal and they're loud and they're strong. So if she lays on one, it'll probably squall until she hears it. But typically they lose, you know, it's not unusual for them to lose a puppy or two, but so far so good, baby girl. So that's our visit with the puppies. Look at it upside down one. Boy, he is eating, he doesn't care. He's got him some milk and he's not letting go.
They're so sweet. Can we keep them all?
No.
Aww.
You know what, again, if you'd like to sign up to our Facebook page, you don't have to sign up. All you do is click like. We want to talk with you, chat with you, see what's going on, update you on where we're going to be, what we're doing, upcoming shows. And because we can't squat down anymore, our legs will pop out.
I'm ready to fall.
It's all about
Good times.
good friends.
And we had good eats. Thank you.
It was really good eats. We'll see you next week with brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
I got
You
a
such
puppy.
good baby.
I got a
You
puppy.
such a
I got a puppy.
To order a cookbook, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com. Special thanks to CKY, Canoe, Kentucky, Furniture World Superstore, Housewarmings, Lodge Cast Iron, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm,